Hello guys, how are you doing? My name is Guillaume. I'm here at NAMM 2019 at the Boss Roland booth, and I'm here with my good friend Matt. How are you doing?
Hello sir, yeah, I'm doing very well, thank you. Sorry, I totally didn't see you were putting your hand out. It's been a long show, man.
It's
Saturday as well.
It's day 17. Don't know what year it is, but we made it. We made it to the Boss booth.
What is happening? I'm so glad you're here, man, because we've been talking for a while about this product, and we've finally, we teased it in November, and now we've got it here on the show. So this is the WAZA Tube Amp Expander. So it's a reactive load box. So there's obviously a lot of different reactive load boxes on the system. So what makes ours different? Well, you've basically got 16 different reactive loads. So amps will respond very, very differently depending on what speaker cab they're plugged in, how you crank them, and a lot of reactive loads will be modelling like a 112 or a 212. You plug a cranked, plexi into that, it's going to respond very differently through a 112 as it is through a 412. Harmonically, it's going to sound and feel quite different. So that's where this comes in. So you can tune this to what sort of speaker, what sort of amp you've got. So it will mimic, in the analog world, it will mimic 16 different types of speaker load, so your amp can respond as naturally as possible without any artifacts. And then because it's a load box, obviously there's an attenuator. So the key with our attenuator is that that's a continuous pot. It's not notched, so you can really dial it in. So it's like a second master volume for your amp almost. But once you hit unity gain, it then kicks in a 100-watt solid-state power amp. So you can then take a small 5-watt amp, you could run it into a 412 and give it an extra 100 watts. So if you've got a favorite amp, say for example, some amps, their sweet spot might be at a point that sounds great at home or in the studio, but maybe not so good for live. That then allows you to kick in that extra volume. So on top of that, we then go into a digital section that's got an effects loop. So if you've got a cranked amp, you don't necessarily want to run a delay straight into the front end.
Really not.
So you've actually got an effects loop on the back, series or parallel, which you can dial in on the front. You've then actually got a bunch of effects in here as well. So we've got rack compressors, delays, and reverbs. So you can fire that into your speaker. And that's one of the key points with this as well, is that it won't just fire it out of a recording output, it will fire it into your speaker cab. So you can take a really old amp that's just single channel with nothing on it, give it an effects loop, give it effects that will fire straight into the speaker cab that you can dial in straight on the front end. and we're only about halfway through. So on top of that, you've then got a EQ section, graphic or parametric. Again, so if you want to dial in a certain sound into your amp, you can do that all through the editor on here as well. And then you've got amp control. So if you've got a 2-channel amp, you can use this to switch. So how does that all work? Well, you've got 10 rig settings. So you've got 10 saved preset states of this section here, which is then fully MIDI controllable. So you can have a switching system and you can physically switch presets. So you can then modernize a vintage amp that's, just volume and tone, for example. Or you can take an amp like we've got here, give it effects loop, give it reverb, tweak the EQ how you want it. And then if you want to take it out live, you can rack mount it and you can take it out there as well. On top of that, when you go the line out, so we've got XLRs on the back and we've got a front of house output, you'll notice up here, we've also got cab and mic simulation. So if you're recording silently at home, and you're just using monitors like we are here, you can choose a bunch of cab sims, you can change the mic type, the mic distance, the room mic, and you can load in your own IRs. So if you've got a certain amp that you love, but you really want to load in your own IRs, you can do that too. So you can use all of that recording, load in your own IRs, and at the same time, simultaneously still mic it up and have the mic sound as well. So
I'm having a really hard time not to swear.
Or, if you live in a small apartment like I do, you've got headphone outs as well. And because that reactive load system is giving the amp, is allowing the amp to see exactly what it needs to see, you get a great sound straight in the headphones as well. So it kind of covers all bases really. If you want to use it at home, you want to use it for recording, you want to use it live, all the options are in there. And as I said, fully MIDI controllable, or you can use our GAFC foot controller.
Wow.
And then, as I said, also on top of that, because it's over USB, you can use that to obviously record audio direct and loop back as well.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
This is overwhelmingly awesome.
Yeah, we've had a great response to this show. Everyone's been coming to see it. It's been great for us, and we're just really trying to like take the next step. You know, for people who use valve amps.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, this is anyone who uses a valve amp. This is just the perfect tool.
I don't know how I can top that, really. All right, we're gonna get some playing going. We're gonna try some things, add some effects.
Yeah. So what we'll do is I'll get you to play it,
yes,
because
sir.
what you'll instantly feel is that you'll maintain all the feel and response. Nothing's sort of becoming too saggy or too compressed.
I'll be the judge of that.
Because you're not, because of the reactive load system on there.
Right.
We can dial it down and you'll hear it both through the monitors and you'll hear it through the as well. Let's do it.
Let's do that.